Hey guys, this is Lauren. I'm like a little nervous because I have to share all this information, and I'm probably going to have to break this video up into parts again just so that the video doesn't drag out longer than it needs to be. So this is Self-Love and Healing Part 3. And I'm going to be teaching you how to self-love and heal yourself by understanding the concepts of how we connect with the universe, how we connect with the galaxies, the solar system, and this earth. A lot of times we tend to forget, I'm like marking all over myself. I like drew on a whiteboard and everything. A lot of times we forget that we connect with nature because of all these outside things that are going on in our lives. You know, things that creates high stress, and we tend to focus on that, and we tend to engulf ourselves in pain. Therefore, how are we ever going to make the time to connect with the nature that fulfills our well-being, the nature that lowers and reduces stress? Like, how are we ever going to make time if we're constantly worried about he say, she say, how life affected me kind of thing? It's going to be really hard to do. So let's understand the concepts of the universe. So we are going through this spiritual awakening right now because of the shift that is happening with the universe. If there is a shift in the universe, there is a shift in all of the galaxies, even galaxies that we don't know about. There is a shift in our solar system. There is a shift in the planets. Therefore, there's going to be a shift in our Earth. So, for example, we are connected to Earth. Like, Earth is our energy. So if the Earth heats up, we heat up. So it's very important to take care of our planet. And, you know, we have a president right now who don't believe in global warming. And I'm actually going to touch on that to show how important it is, how important global warming is, and how we can take care of our planet and take care of ourselves, because any and everything is energy. And if we are consuming all this negativity, if we're consuming the conflicts of this world, that's going to affect our well-being. Like, say, for example, I walk outside, right? And I'm stretching like, and I'm coughing because there's so much industrial companies around the area. There's so many cars and trucks like blowing out the pollution. So now I'm upset. Because I'm not getting clean oxygen. And you know, this is something that we are trying to adapt to, but it's just like, does that make me happy? No, it does not. And so if I'm not happy, then I am shooting this negative energy wherever I go. So that means people are going to notice that I'm in a bad mood because I breathed in some bad pollution. Yes, it is that deep. Seriously, it's that deep. Like, it's very important to get the oxygen that you need. Like, I did a video when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, that I was really upset that I was driving on the highway, and there was so many farms that stretched for hundreds and hundreds of miles. And this was due to farmers and construction workers chopping down the trees, causing deforestation, which releases too much carbon dioxide in the air. The companies that burns fuel releases too much carbon dioxide. If we're having too much carbon dioxide into the air, it's going to create heat. Like, we should be at our normal levels of heat, but right now we're above the normal levels of heat. So like I said, if the earth heats up, we heat up. So it's very important to take care of our earth. So now that you have like an understanding of the connection of the universe, the connection of the galaxies, the connection of the planets, it affects us. Like, if there's a shift in the Earth's axis, we shift too. So yeah, it's very important to stay connected and just make sure you're taking care of your well-being. So yeah, think I've covered everything. Let me see here. We got someone that joined. Hello, Jalen. So basically, I'm talking about how we connect with the universe, just understanding the connection. I always go into nature. I always surround myself around trees. I always surround myself around water. I always put myself in the sun because all of it is energy, and this is what's getting me good, clean air. And this is what fulfills my well-being throughout the rest of the day. So I also found the planets interesting. I'm still studying the planets. I found it interesting that it takes 60,000 days for the Earth to fully rotate around the sun. Yet with Mercury, it takes just 80 days to rotate 100 miles per hour around the sun. And I think that that's really amazing. It's just amazing to know that everything and everyone is moving at its own pace and time, and yet it's still connected. So it's very important to keep a balance on Earth. It's very important to keep a balance with your well-being. So now that we have that understanding, let's talk about these chakras. I put laugh my ass off Casper because like I suck at drawing, but this is what I came up with. I really don't have time to touch on all of these things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop an article in the description box so you guys can understand how our energy works, and that each component of energy has its own description of what it does for your body. Like, I want to touch on this. I want to touch on this because this is what unleashes the Kundalini energy. Kundalini is divine energy, the God source, if you will. As you breathe up, this energy, they call it the snake. It goes around your spine, all the way up to the crown of your head. And it sends out these neurotransmitters that completely rewires your brain. And when I do it, I feel so much bliss, euphoria, and ecstasy when I do it. And it's very important to tend to your root. Like I was saying in my other videos, that most of my energy is at the base of my spine. And a lot of times it's being blocked. And for some of you that don't understand, okay, well, how do I know if I'm being blocked or not? Just pay attention to, like, say, for example, your throat. Let's just look at the throat chakra. I didn't have a color for this, but the throat chakra is like a light blue color, okay? If you have a sore throat, that's negative energy. Like if you go down to the root, like for a woman, if a woman is having menstrual pains, it's coming from negative energy. So it's very important to cleanse all of these areas by breathing air into them. So like you'll know when you're being blocked, and you'll know when you have tension by simply tuning in and paying attention to the flow of your breath, and just following the flow of your breath up and down, and do it slowly. I felt really light. I felt like I've released so much dark energy just by doing simple meditation. But yeah, I want to touch on this because it is the divine energy that unleashes this Kundalini energy. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Like I feel so blessed to experience this because I was able to really be in touch with the spiritual realms. It just felt like my whole entire brain was like filled with this power, this light, this constellation of just stars and energy. It's just a reminder of who I am as a spiritual being, and that I connect with any and everything. We are nature. So I think I'm going to end this video here. This video was just to understand the connection, how to connect with the earth, how to connect with the universe, and how to connect with yourself. It's just having that understanding, you know. Or actually, let me just touch on earth really quick. There's a lot of things that you can do that can add to the planet. Stop eating meat. Only reason why I say that, I mean, just don't eat it as much, because that increases the demand of people having to go out and chop down trees to raise cows on farms. Agriculture plays such a huge role in why our climate is changing, increasing the heat levels of global warming. It is because of the agriculture industry. So it's like, if we decrease our beef intake, then we won't need to be chopping down trees and raising as many cows. That's why they have a lot of these plant-based burgers out there called the Impossible Burger. They have like all these other alternatives that you can eat, you know, and just get your satisfaction of, you know, the taste of a burger or whatever. Really helps the planet. It helps the planet if you start recycling things. Start recycling things. Instead of trashing things, start recycling things, because that renews our resources and we won't have to continue to chop things down for resources. Recycle things. Clean up things. If you see like beer cans, if you see bottle glasses laying around, just pick it up and throw it away. Like, clean the planet, because all of that, it just is nothing but waste and pollution. So make sure your stuff is clean. I'm actually going to take a walk outside to make sure the area is clean. And if it's not clean, I'm going to report it to the office to make sure that, hey, there's a lot of things in the water. You need to send somebody out there to clean the water. So the universe will be very pleased that you are taking care of the earth, because it really shows that you care about the balance of the earth, and it just really shows that you care about life. You know, without the trees, because the trees like soaks in all of this carbon dioxide. So when the trees and plants are, you know, being chopped down, that releases into the air. And if we get too much of it, it will become toxic for us, and it will become toxic for the animals, which then can lead to extinction. So we have to really take into consideration of the values of our planet, because we live here. We all have to live here. Let's give it some care so that we can care for ourselves. All right, so I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to jump into another video on how we can unleash the Kundalini energy. Take care. Bye. Give me like 5 minutes.